Yeah.
I know. I spent all the dollar on you.
Hey Jenny, you're
Huh?
that's live right now.
Perfect. Right on time.
Got to start.
Oh, this is. So we're live streaming for the first time ever, so be forgiving. We're waiting a couple more minutes for people to come over, and then we're going to go ahead and get started.
You've got a Snapchat filter
Anybody?
the whole time you talk.
Huh?
You look at money like the Snapchat.
I wish I had a Snapchat filter on this. Can everybody back here please be in front of the board? I know we have a lot of folks that are in the dark corner. Huh? New office. You get a new computer. And you get a new computer. I'm gonna start doing Oprah up here.
We're gonna make sure
There's a comment section, just so everyone on the live stream knows, there's like a comment section that you can type in questions. If you have any questions, or if you're having trouble hearing, please just let us know. We have a moderator, so he'll be able to let us know if we need to make an adjustment.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't hear you back here.
I'm pretty loud, but
Hey! Hey! There you go, Jenny.
thank you. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to the Maytown Hall. Thanks for being here if you're here. Thanks for streaming if you're streaming. We have a couple different announcements. Firstly, as far as expanding the team. So we have some new hires to announce. Welcome to Esco. We have Hunter Gresh in the knock. Mark Strauss.
Should make them come up in front of the camera.
Oh, who wants
That's
to?
a horrible idea.
That's. I was gonna say I'm not gonna embarrass anybody like that. No. So Hunter Gresh is in the knock. We have Mark Strauss. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
Where's
Mark Strauss, who is our senior network engineer. We have Ron Hoos. He's a tech concierge for
There's 2
Seabury.
people watching right now.
Rocky Morales is our newest addition to the Care Connect sales team, as well as Linda. Is it Galat? Galat. So Linda Galat is also on the Care Connect sales team. We have Darren Block, who's been added as an account manager. Derek Williams is the newest Tech Connect project coordinator, as well as Sean O'Shaughnessy and Laura Knott. And then Ryan Campbell is not currently here, but he does start on Monday. He's the tech concierge for terrorist communities. So if you ever are in communication with him, make sure that he gets a warm welcome to Esco, even though if he's not really going to be at headquarters. So those are all of our new people. We do have some transitions to W-2 from the Tech Connect side. So congrats to Travis Dixon, Justin Tharp, Alex Wilson, and Lakeisha McCutcheon on their W-2 status, and welcome to the team. And then we also have a bunch of kudos nominations, which is awesome. Thank you all for submitting these.
This is me training right
I think that
now.
there's a lot of people here who deserve recognition, so it's nice that we can take the time to actually recognize them for what they did above and beyond the Call of Duty. So firstly, I'd like to announce the Tech Connect Unicorn Award winner. That's an award that's exclusive to the Tech Connect team, but Jay Hudson is winning that this this month, and he's smiling and laughing because he thinks it's ridiculous. But he has been working so hard. Jay has provided a level of support to PMO leadership that is indispensable. Working as a strategic account manager on Windstream, he provides the necessary buffer between Jessica and the team to allow them to get their jobs done. He defends the group and offers suggestions and coaching as needed and goes above his role to ensure the team has what they need and are on task. He also takes it upon himself to assist in process creation, SharePoint management, and systems enhancements for not only Windstream, but for Tech Connect as a whole to work better and more efficiently. Thanks for all you do, Jay. I couldn't do it without you. That's from Jessica. Thanks, Jay. Next, we have a group nomination honoring Justin Tharp and Nicole Hoke for their work on Benbridge Jewelers. This was submitted by Benbridge, so this is a client kudos. So the kudos is managing mall management issues and running cabling implementation. So they've hit a couple key points here. Fantastic communications. Issues with mall management are being handled perfectly. Organization is on point. Anyone who's worked with a mall knows that this is amazing. Organization is on point. Technicians are knowledgeable and much better than anything they've experienced with these types of deployments in the past. So good job on vetting our technicians. And the health check calls are uniform with known issues called out by Esco with a proposed solution and handled professionally. So thank you to Nicole Hoke and Justin Tharp for all you've done on the Benbridge project. Next, we're honoring Mitch and Don. So this kudos was submitted by Donnie Wright. And he just says, kudos to Mitch and Don for hitting the ground running. I know that you guys have jumped right into it, so thank you so much for what you've done. Next nominee we have is Victor Salas. Hey, Victor. Nominated by Ryan Kreitzer. Victor is hardworking and does whatever it takes to make sure our customers' expectations are met. His patience and understanding with on-site technicians and residents are a true reflection of his character and what makes him such an asset to Esco. Thank you, Victor. Also nominated by Ryan was Scott Stone. Scott's a true asset to Esco. His time and experience have truly helped all of our new hires' training to be a success. His willingness to travel at a moment's notice shows that he cares about our customers and doing whatever it takes to make their dealings with Esco a great experience. Thank you, Scott. So the next nomination is Tom. He's the Lady Lake Technology Concierge. He's gone above and beyond to help out while he's on site. He installed and connected one of the devices in the rack and connected fiber and patch cables for us. But the kicker is that he put together an APC and battery unit and was able to get it in the rack. Those things, for people who do not know, are about 105 pounds each. This is well above what TCs are usually asked to do. So great assets to have on site while we are so far away. Thank you so much, Tom. Next we're honoring Jim Locker. Jim is the Kalamazoo TC. He's been on site a few months now and has always done everything asked of him. He's fabricated a couple phone lines so we could test modems in the MDF. He's installed the camera and IPPDU for us. Another great asset to have on site while we're far away. Thank you to our TCs. And then we have a group nomination nominated by Todd Purdon. We have Donnie, Ryan, Steve Conway, Nick, David, and even Corey with R-Care, who doesn't technically work for Esco, but it was involved. While Todd was on site at Wesley Woods, there were a few people involved in getting the paging system back up and functioning correctly. Donnie, Ryan, Steve Conway, Nick, David, and Corey were essential in getting the Digi1 online and configured in the R-Care server. Donnie was able to figure out how to log into the Digi and get it configured with our static IP. If it wasn't for all these people, the paging system still might not work properly. So thank you to that group for going above and beyond. Nominated again is Donnie Wright by Lindsay Marshall. She'd like to recognize Donnie Wright with all the changes within the company. He's worked his butt off to get people set up with With Lindsay's move to the new department and processes changing so quickly between departments, he's been a huge help to her and to our group as a whole. So thank you, Donnie, for your extra efforts on that. Next up, and I'm going to pronounce her name correctly this time, is Tracy Hulse. She was nominated by...
She's legally going to change the whole thing now.
Oh, yeah, right. She was nominated by Tanya. She'd like to send a kudos to Tracy Hulse, provisioning technician. Tracy often acts as a first contact in the provisioning department, tech concierge at New England Club. She's often who I reached out to the most to answer administrative workflow questions. She's very knowledgeable and informative. Tracy assists by fielding calls, giving direction on administrative workflow for clients, and helping to find out who the appropriate contact is if necessary. She has been so helpful to me in getting my job done, especially given the position changes within our company, and she does all of this patiently, professionally, and with a smile. Thank you so much, Tracy, for all your help. I appreciate the entire provisioning team. Their efforts really help keep the ball rolling out here for the TCs. Thanks, Tracy. Next, we have Laurel Littrell. She was nominated by Tracy Hulse as well. I would like to nominate Laurel Littrell, TC at Wesley Woods. I was speaking with a resident while Laurel was out of the country, and he stated Laurel is completely amazing and definitely missed while she was on vacation. Our TC program is amazing, and these employees are the front line for Esco service. They are the ears, eyes, and hands of Esco. Thank you so much, Laurel. I know we may not say it as often as we should, but each and every TC is greatly appreciated. Thank you, Laurel. Next up is Lanessa Howard. She was nominated by Bob Forshner. I want to nominate Lanessa Howard. She's always positive and puts the client's needs first. She represents the values of Esco, always strives to do things better, has great business sense in creating strategies for our clients, and is a true professional. Lanessa is a great asset to our company. Thank you, Lanessa. From the Tech Connect side, we have Malcolm Myrick, nominated by Brooke Stewart at Lexington Legends. That's a client nomination. Malcolm has been extremely communicative, and we appreciate all the work he has put into this account. So thank you, Malcolm. Lori Gilbert is next. This is another client kudos nomination. She was nominated by Josh Hoppa, who is a PM over on the Windstream Group, for her work with Key Impact on their SD-WAN upgrades. This has been a very challenging client to manage. It has from the beginning. And in the midst of a complicated and ever-changing scope, when asked if there's anything we can do better, the Windstream PM stated, just don't remove Lori. She's doing an amazing job. So thank you, Lori. Jessica Tharp has been nominated by Missy Manuel for doing a great job covering for Mallory on the direct supply account while she was on vacation. Thank you, Jessica, for everything that you do for the team. And then lastly, Michael Mays has been nominated yet again by Tara. Whenever I go to Michael with a question, not only does he answer my question, but he's always so pleasant. Michael's extremely knowledgeable about his department and also helps me understand functionality of some of the other departments. I always get more than I bargained for when going to Michael in a good way. I really appreciate you, Michael D. So thank you. So with that being said, oh, we do have one last kudos actually. So Tim Sparks has been nominated for a kudos award, but this is an above the average kudos award. He has finally graduated, so he's been in school the entire time that he's worked here, right? Pretty much. Yeah. So Tim's being nominated, and I think Larry wanted to say a couple things.
Well, you pretty much said all the stuff.
Yeah, but you got to say it loud for the camera, though.
Yeah, we want that pretty face on there.
Yeah, you don't want my pretty face. If I'm gonna get up here, Mr. Sparks, please.
Mitch, keep an eye on the dog.
So at this time, I would like to get my notes out here first. All right. I know. There we go. we'd like to recognize Tim for his hard work and dedication. Not many of you know, but most of you know now that Tim has been going to college for the last 4 years, working 4 years. Tim came to us directly from serving or completing his military service. He was part of the Operation Iraqi Freedom with the U.S. Army.
Whoa.
Part of their forward ComSat team, imagine that. During that time while he was here, Tim has worked hard and has become a respected member of our engineering team. Next week, as Jenny indicated, he will be graduating from Arizona State University with a Bachelor's of Science in Electrical Engineering. Tim, it is a great sense of accomplishment. Proceed with purpose, but enjoy it for now. We know it was a lot of work for you. So it was once a dream, it's now an achievement. Congratulations from all of us here at Esco.
And the best part, presents.
Thank you.
I hope that's liquor in there.
Okay, so the next portion of our presentation, we're going to have Bob Forstner come up and present a little bit about our Tech Concierge program. It's a very important program, as you can tell by the kudos nominations. Our TCs are getting nominated left and right for what they do, so I'll let Bob take it away.
Okay, thank you. Let's just stand up. Well, again, hey, Tim, that's cool. I just wish I was going to be in Phoenix next week. Please take pictures. For those of you that don't know, I'm Bob Forstner, Vice President of Community Resources. And a part of Community Resources, we have Lanessa Howard, who's the manager, and who is in New Mexico, and also Leanne Schmidt, who is here somewhere. There she is, working with the team. And then we also support the Technology Concierge program. So with that, before I start to talk about some of the details of the Technology Concierge program, the little things that they do would take hours, because as they get to know the community and the residents, they fine-tune the level of service that they provide. But before I get into that, during my presentation, at the end of it, I'm going to have 2 questions, and there will be a prize for each question. I asked Jennifer to approve $100 per prize, and she kicked me out of her office. So there might be a little beverage involved and a $5 bill. That's it. That's all I got. So that's my way of coercing everybody to listening to my presentation. I'll just lay it out there. So that being said, what I'd like to do is, the first slide. I guess I better go this way. The first slide. Our Technology Concierge will simplify residents' lives. That's really the bottom line of why they're there, to simplify the residents' lives and the staff. And when we go into presentations from a sales perspective for future clients and even current clients, nobody denies the fact of the need to have somebody on site to help the residents with our services and just even over and beyond our services. And I think you're going to see that when I get as I continue through the presentation. What I'd like to ask, though, is what they deal with on a day-to-day basis. How many here, show of hands, are right-handed? Okay, have you ever tried to write your name, and go ahead and try it as we speak, with your left hand?
Mm-hmm.
How difficult that is?
That's a bad time.
Yeah. That's what they deal with seniors. Seniors have got all of this stuff coming at them. They've got the technology, they have got change. Their lives have been turned upside down, not just because of us, but they're in these communities. They're frustrated. They sometimes a lack of independence. So to have a technology concierge on site to help them navigate through those services, a lot of times just to sit with them and talk with them, help them with the remotes, because with the arthritic hands, with the remotes that the buttons I can't even see, it's difficult and it is frustrating. So to have somebody there, so that they don't have to call a Comcast or whomever and get put on hold, go through the prompts, maybe make an appointment. We can literally be there a lot of times within minutes, go up to the room. We may be able to find out that it's just a simple source button change, and they're up and running again. What that means to a resident is unbelievable, and I think it's reflected on some of the kudos today on what the TCs are getting. The TCs that I have, I'm telling you, they are so passionate about Esco and also about servicing the clients, and they're all professionals in their own right. You know, they're coming from other industries. In fact, the one gentleman that will start Mondays from Dish. So we're getting some really high level people that are you know, helping us obviously look good on site. What I like to do though is recognize, you know, briefly each one. It's not necessarily the name itself, but you'll get an idea of the 14 TCs that we have, where they are throughout the country. So Arbor Terrace, we've got Ken Shaw in Georgia. Lady Lake, Tom was nominated. Artishenko for Kudo. Bethany Village, Herschel Warner. Canterbury in Georgia, Sam Travis. He's just started with us. Compass Park in Indiana, Stephen Schwartz. Desmet is Omar Sali. Friendship Kalamazoo is Jim Locker. He was nominated for Kudo. Legacy at Fritz is Doug Van Winkle. New England Club is Tanya Kirkland. Otterbein is Dennis Gandert. Seabury is Ron Hoos. And also Fran McNulty, which I'm happy to say Fran is joining the community resource team as of Monday. He's training Ron, and now he will be out of Connecticut, but working with community resources. That's going to be a great asset for us. Wesley Woods, we have Laura Littrell at Terrace Valley in Wheelock. As Jenny mentioned, Ryan will start with us Monday. So as you can see, as we continue to grow, and I want to thank Gary and his team to help the TC programs grow. It's going to be fantastic because as I said earlier, there's nobody as far as the executive director and staff that don't understand the importance of having somebody on site. So when you can lead with somebody in a sales presentation, and we're going to put a TC on site, nobody has this in the country except us, and it's a great value and it's a great benefit. And I'll you know, pursue that a little bit more. You know, as I was saying, the challenges that they worked with and helped the residents with, they would not be able to have that level of success if it wasn't for everybody here. I mean, they literally touch every department. The NOC implementation, inventory even, billing, TS, Donnie and Tim, their team, everybody here at some point in time helps our TCs when they're on site. And Jenny mentioned this earlier. The biggest difference between what they're doing and what we're doing here is they're on site. So when a TV goes down, and that, as we all know, that's a very important part of a senior's life. When that TV either goes down or a channel goes out, they now are the TV experts on site. So as we all know, 300 days, it could be beautiful technology, no problem at all. The first minute it goes out, they've got that red bullseye on their chest. And it takes a certain individual to be able to say, we're working on it, we'll get back to you, and represent Esco in a professional way, but also make sure the residents taken care of. The NOC does a tremendous job in supporting them, educating them, training them on the level of services that they're providing to these people. But I can't stress enough, I think the goal of this whole presentation really is for everybody to understand when you're on site and you got somebody in your face and they're lining up because they can't watch Judge Judy, it's a big deal, and they won't, and that's why the executive directors love us, because we're taking that away from the executive director's office and putting it on these, you know, technology concierges. There was a meeting I had with an executive director who was all in as far as the TC, and he was saying, you know, if I get a call, I have to walk across campus and maybe press a button for remote that takes a minute. In the meantime, as we can all relate, still getting phone calls, still getting texts, my paper's still stacking up. Now with the TC on site, I'm able to, you know, think more strategically, manage my staff better, and I've got more time to myself so that I can manage the community and grow the community while your TC is helping our staff and our residents. A lot of stories I hear from residents is how much it means to them to have somebody that they can rely on when they do have issues. We have TCs now that are a part of the marketing program. When a family member comes in and they're looking at a community, they're literally there with the sales staff Because who else, what a marketing tool that is. We've got somebody who's going to take care of your mom and dad, and that's the biggest question. Who's going to take care of them? We've got not only our staff, but we have somebody dedicated to make sure that your mom and dad, if there's any issues whatsoever from a technical standpoint, they're going to be there. And these communities are loving this because they can market that when nobody else around them has that. So that's a big tool. Some of the things they do get involved in as far as installation. This is Leanne, by the way. I know it looks like me when I had hair, but they'll help. Donnie, that wasn't that funny. Set up television at Esco. They'll set up modems, pair computers, tablets, phones, smart TVs. Set up sound systems, sound bars. That's not in the job description. They'll help setting up laptops, email addresses. The big thing that you'll see here is, now we've got the Alexa. They, family members, as we all know, they'll drop all of this equipment off thinking this is really going to help mom and dad, and then they leave. They have no idea what to do with it. Leanne has a great story when she was at Bethany where a family came in. Leanne gets the call, we need the TV set up. So she's thinking she's going to go in, plug it in, and do a channel. No, it was still in the box. And that's, that's just, there's hundreds and hundreds of stories like that as we continue to work with the technology concierge. Provide tutorials on TV and DVR. They not only utilize some of our marketing tools, but Leanne especially, Herschel, Ken Shaw, Tanya, they'll create a document of a picture of a remote and what buttons to press and what not to press. And they'll leave it in the resident's room so they know when they leave that they can reference that information. And what happens is the relationship develops with the guest or with the resident and the TC. They'll call them anyway because they just want to talk to them. It's an amazing partnership that develops there. The other thing that Ken Shaw has done is he will have, like, on a weekly basis at Arbor Terrace, just technology school, if you will, some training. So he'll set up coffee, have a table in the lobby area, and the residents would come down. That lasted about a month and a half. They don't come down anymore. He has almost totally eliminated any questions, for now, until the TV goes out or whatever, from the residents. But when you see that and you know that a resident's happy, the staff knows the resident's happy, what's going to happen? They're going to tell their friends, and what happens there? Their friends move into the community, and the usage and the census goes up in the community. So there's a correlation between the TCs and the communities that we have TCs in and the success rate of the residents and the increase of residents in the community, which of course helps us because they're utilizing our services. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. As I said, with on-site device support, each month new things are coming out. So like I said, with Alexis, they'll do that. They have the cheat sheets for handy instruction. We're getting more involved. Ken and Herschel worked on a newsletter just for TC. So there's like a puzzle. We're going to actually implement that next month at Otterbein and the community. So it's going to have a picture of the TC, a little bio. It's going to have specific to the community how to utilize their remote, or something like that from a technical standpoint. On the backside, there's just a puzzle. So, we're testing this, but it's highlighting our services. It's highlighting the technology concierge. And again, nobody's doing that right now. It's just a form of communication. So as we come out with new services, we'll be able to promote them, subliminally, if you will, with this newsletter itself. They also provide, they assist family members. So again, when a family member comes in, it's a very chaotic time. You can imagine moving into an apartment and you've got people flying all over the place. They'll literally walk in and help the family members move that resident in to sort of calm the tension down. Or they will go in, and I've been there, and they'll say, you know what, I'll come back tomorrow. Don't worry about a thing. I'll make sure everything's working. So again, I go back to the relationship that they develop with the residents is priceless. But they couldn't do that without the support of everybody here and the understanding of what they deal with on a day-to-day basis, because it's easy to sit behind my desk or whatever and go, TV channel's out, okay, versus having a senior who at that point in time is totally unfiltered. And that's part of the challenges. If you ever had a grandparent or anybody older that all of a sudden loses their filter, it can be very personal, and it's not a fun situation. So that being said, there are some tools that we use to demonstrate to the community the activity that the concierge provide on a monthly basis. So each month, we track their MACD tickets, their first call resolution, their trouble tickets, and device support. And device support again is you know, maybe Alexa, a phone, whatever it might be. So we try to separate that out. In 2018, we had over 8,000 tickets that was created by, at that point, probably 10 or 11 TC. So when you take that level and just multiply that by $10, $15 an hour, you can see the value that an executive director is going to see when they're looking at their staff and they know that their IT director or their maintenance person is not going to have to create 150, 250 tickets a month. That is huge, because then it gives them the ability to hire more people to do what they're paid to do. And then and what happens then is they rely more on our technology concierge to do more than just, I go back to the job description. I mean, we get more involved. They were recognized, and I thank you, Donnie, and them for you know, the people that have the skill set. If they can support TS, if they can support NOC and certain things other than taking care of the residents, they're all for that. They're all for that. But their main goal is to take care of the residents. That's the bottom line. That's why they're there. Another element that we measure, they have on their phones an app. It's called T-Sheets. And you know, at first I thought it would be great to have 8 categories, and as they're walking around, they could click and all this. And then, you know, as you learn, you ask, is that a good idea? And Jesus, I heard quickly that was the worst idea ever, because it took too much time. All they did was walk around changing categories. So we changed it to just 3. But they're very important, and they're important to show a community this as well. First off, it's very basic. You know, do they show up? You know, we know that they're there at the community because as soon as they get there, they click on the phone and it shows that they're there at the community, and then when they leave. But throughout the day, if they're doing paperwork, they're going to click to the administration, and that's, you know, strictly, and we manage that because they're not there to do paperwork. They're there to take care of the residents. So as you can see, the percentage last year, 57% of the time of all of the technology concierge was spent with the residents, as it should be. If that starts to drop, 2 things are happening. Either for some reason they're doing too much paperwork, they need coaching on that, or the equipment aspect of it is that they're working on something, if Donnie's asked them to do something or NOC has asked them to do something within, you know, our MDF. If that increases, then that means maybe we need to take a look at, you know, getting a technician out or whatever. But it's always at about 6%, and never goes over 7 or 8% on a monthly basis. But if I can show this to an executive director and say, you know, we talk about spending time with your residents, but now we can prove it. We can show you that we are spending time, and this could be walking the hallways. It's like when I follow a technology concierge down the hallway, they are stopped at least 10 times. Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? The story I have is Herschel Warner. When he was over at Indiana Masonic, I was with him, and a lady, you know, 80 years old, about that big, came up and said, you know, who are you? And he introduced me. And, well, what are you doing here? Well, I'm just here to be with Herschel and just sort of see what's going on and all that. She goes, well, you're not getting rid of him, are you? And I'm like, oh, gosh, no, he's here. She goes, because if you do, I'll track you down. No. So that's, you know, that's the passion they have for the relationship that they develop. So, you know, I want to, the last thing that we track is we do on an annual basis, we survey the communities. And it's 5 questions, but to me, the most important question is there a benefit to having the TC there at the community? And I didn't want to put up all the pie charts, but I'm showing you the lowest pie chart that we've ever received as far as a benefit. This is last year as well. 99% thought it was a benefit. The 1% didn't understand the question. So, again, the validity, you show this type of data to a future client, and it's huge. The other thing that we do with surveys is the residents will write comments about whatever it might be, that, you know, don't pull Ken from Arbor Terrace. And it's just amazing when you read the writing and the comments of some of these residents. So we can utilize those comments as testimonials. We're getting more and more requests for referrals. We've got a large corporation right now, Brookdale, who has asked, they're looking at a TC for a couple of their communities. Who can they call to see if the TC is a valid concept? And so they called 2 of our communities and got raving. I mean, the basic comment was, we can't live without the TC. We don't know what we did before we even had that TC on site. You can't ask for anything more than that. But again, the TC is a part of you guys. You know, it's a part of Esco. It's a part of our brand. You know, if the brand goes down, if there's service issues, they're the brand, they're Esco. When things are going right, you know, life is good with them. So I was excited about having this opportunity to talk to you today. Number one, to thank you, but also to recognize the fact that they care about the residents, you know, and they care about the professionalism that they offer to the residents, and also representing Esco in a professional way. So I thank you for your time. And now I will ask 2 questions. The first question is, how many TCs do we have?
14.
Okay, you get the first prize. $5.
Oh, I get $5 lunch.
I went for 100.
Okay.
Okay, the second question is, who is the new individual on the community resource team?
Brand.
You got it.
Oh.
Yep.
What's his
Who
last
got it?
name?
I'm listening.
Did Lindsay get it?
Yes.
Lindsay. Here you go.
I don't think it's fair for me to answer that question.
That's what it is.
Yes, that's what it is. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so
Is that
we're
coming
gonna
from
go
Sticky Cup?
ahead. I know Steve wants to make an announcement before that happens, so I'm gonna go ahead and draw somebody to win the Kudos gift certificate. And I just want to be clear, we're doing this for all of 2019. So the more you're nominated, the more your name gets put into the cup, the more likely you are to win. So that's incentive to do your best. But I'll have somebody draw here. Hold on. Ed, will you do the honors?
Nice shirt, Ed.
The one that's taped on the bottom.
Did you put your name in there 100 times like I told you to?
Sworn. No. All right, Jeff Orth won. Thank you, Jeff. All right, I'm gonna put this on his desk.
Happy show reward is here today.
We're gonna go ahead, Steve. If you want to come up and make that quick announcement.
So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is something that happened last night. When we do our installations and the NOC supports the services and changes out nurse call servers and makes adjustments, people just think that's part of their normal day and doing business. But I want to give you an example of how it actually possibly saved somebody's life last night. So I get a call about right around 10:15 p.m. from Kelly Hoffner from Life Services, and that's at the Winds That Matter in Orchard. One of their residents, finding out later due to a medical issue and some medication they're on, left the property. They weren't an elopement risk, so they didn't have a wonder management tag on, but they left the property, but they had their pendant with them. So she pressed her pendant as she was gone from the property. So she was about 1,000 feet from the property. Didn't come up with a location. It just said so-and-so pressed their pendant, and didn't come up with a location of where they were at. So Kelly calls me. We work through some things. I call Scott. He answers the phone. So we're all there available for that customer and the questions that they had about the system at that time. So we are able to determine that that resident was still within the bubble because the pendant was checking in, and we were able to determine that she was actually pressing her pendant because it was at different times. So they got the police involved and people around that community. They created like a bubble around the community and started working out. They found her within 800 feet of the community in the woods. And she's fine. So they took her to the hospital and she's fine. But the reason I wanted to share that story is is the importance of what we do and everybody here, and how, you know, every little thing that you touch could have helped save this person's life. So when you're out there, when your problem customer calls or certain things happen, make sure you take that call. Make sure you do the certain things that you need to do, because what we do really makes a difference in our communities and the residents, and that's all I really wanted to bring up. So.
Okay, so I don't know, Donnie, did we get any questions typed in?
No.
Alright.
Nick said congrats to Tim. That's about it.
Yeah, thanks. So does anyone else have any questions that they want to address today before we close? All good? All right. That being said, if you're here at Esco headquarters, we have lunch. It's a taco bar, so go help yourself. There's some desserts as well. And for everybody tuning in remotely, thank you so much for participating, and have a good rest of your day.